Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this week's Tax Rep Network podcast. What I wanted to cover is where to find clients. So I get a lot of questions from potential tax rep members, from followers of the podcast, through social media. Tax Rep Network sounds great, Eric. Would love to add the 100,000 to the bottom line, all this stuff. But where do you find clients? How do you get clients? Now, look. If you've been listening to anything I've been telling you on the podcast, on the webinars, anything, well, let's just run through it. All right, because if you've been listening, you know this already. But if you haven't, if you're new to this, or this is the first podcast you've heard from me, or you just haven't heard the others, we know statistically there's a massive need for representation. There are more than 14 million accounts in the collection division inventory. There are 7 million non-filers that the government knows about and they are pursuing right now. They've told us this. That means that there are close to 21 million taxpayers in need of help. All right, number one. So with that, number one as our landscape, my argument to you is that all you need to do is get the message out that you do this work. Now, let me explain. There are lots of different approaches to getting clients, right? There are a number of people that have a program or push a program where you buy lien lists, right? These are the public lists of people that have tax liens filed against them, right? You think that would be a pretty good list to go market to. Well, all you have is an address. So what happens is you buy the lien list and you have to begin mailing a series of letters. I'm told by people who are in that industry who do this, you need to touch people 5 times. So let's say you get the list, right, with 1,000 names on it, right? You spend close to $1,000 to get the list. Now you have to touch them 5 times. So that's 5,000 letters that need to go out, paper, stamp, and the time to do it. So you're going to spend, on an ongoing basis, thousands upon thousands of dollars every single month. Now, does it work? Absolutely. All right. If you buy lien lists, if you want to spend money and get on the radio, if you want to spend money and get on TV, will these things work? They absolutely will work. But you have to have a not insignificant budget to run those programs. All right. Most of the people that come to Tax Rep are people looking to build their practice or looking to launch a practice. In fact, I can't think of anybody I've ever had that has shown up and said, Eric, I got 100 grand burning a hole in my pocket. I'd really like to spend it on marketing. How do you think I should do it? Most of my members come to me. They want to build this. They don't have a big budget to do this. Now, I'm going to tell you, I spend $199 a year. And that's what I have my members spend. Now, the truth is, do I really only spend that? Well, no, we do an event in January where we have accountants in for drinks and, we spend more on marketing, don't get me wrong. But for my marketing for the first several years, I spent $199 a year, all right? Because my approach to marketing, again, remember, the big number one is that I take as just fact that there's a huge need for our services. In fact, people in your circle need help. You just don't know it. You'd be amazed how people through our community, my synagogue, the organizations my wife and I belong to, friends of ours, our kids know their kids, have now come to me as clients, which I'm going to be honest with you is a little odd. It's a little disconcerting to begin learning issues about people that you knew, socially, that you're really not in their business. But the need is huge. All right. So what we need to do, our approach at TaxRep, is get the message out, and you can do that. Now, my big thing has always been blogging. Now, there's blogging, there's video blogging. We do all of that, and we teach our members how to do this. Here's my rationale on the blogging. One, the clients that I really am looking for, we have cases all over the country, but the ones that I'm marketing for are the people in my own area, my own neighborhood, in Connecticut, in New Haven, where we are, Manhattan, where we have our offices, Long Island, that's where we're targeting. When people go to search, all right, what Google tells us, 93% of Americans start their search for anything on the internet, the vast majority on a smart device. Okay, so therefore, if that's where my potential audience is, that's where I want to be. So let's talk about the blogging. Why the blogging? Well, it does a couple things. When I began doing this work, oh my good, more than 20 years ago, the thing then my senior partners would have me do is write articles for a couple of reasons. One, they didn't feel like writing the article. It was good marketing. But the other thing is it forced me to learn, right? How do you write an article about tax liens without getting into the priority, the mechanics of it, how you get them discharged, released, et cetera? So whatever, that was tax liens is only one area. But whatever you pick, in order to write about it or speak about it, you really kind of have to roll up your sleeves and get into it. And so by doing this, it trained me and it helped market. And they got their name on another article that they didn't really have to write. So for blogging, what I like about the blogging is this. They're 200 to 500 words, that's it. And if you do it properly, it will, and you do it on the right platform, it will rank without a doubt, okay? What it will do is it's going to force you to think about, 200 to 500 words, it's pretty tight, right? To talk about a topic. So one is it forces you to learn. Two, those blog entries stay out there forever. Unlike an article that comes and goes in a magazine, they stay out there forever. So think about this. What I tell my members, right? I'm asking for 2 hours a week, not 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week. The thing though, is it has to be consistent. But if you do what I ask you to do, two blog entries a week. So I do my 2 blog entries. They post on my podcast, my blog site, which then links to all my social media. So those blog entries are on my site, my blog site. They're in Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Okay. Then I will take them and put together 2 or 3 basic PowerPoint slides, and I will record a short 2 to 3 minute video. Like I said, this is 2 hours a week. That is it. That's all I will spend on this. I'm too busy otherwise. And those will go up in YouTube. Now think about that. Those two blog entries and the 2 videos, that's like 4 mini websites. You do that every week. You have 200 items at the end of the first year, all keyworded and focused on what you do, based on your local area. It will be impossible for somebody to look up for an IRS problem in your area on their phone and not see you. Okay, this approach works. Now, it does take a little time, I'll admit it. All right, I have some members that did their first blog entries and got 35,000 of work in their very first week. That's a little unusual. Okay, however, it's not unusual for my members to start getting calls within the first 20 to 30 days. All right, as blog entries start going up. Why? Because people searching. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize Joe did this. My brother has this problem. I have this problem, whatever. And more people will know that you do this. Other professionals discover you do this. And those blog entries that you've done, those short videos that you've recorded, they don't go away. Now, they may not rank as well, right? Because they're getting a little old. But if you keep putting out more and more stuff, it's almost, if you think about it, the information superhighway, you keep putting up billboards. Well, eventually people driving down the highway can't help but see your billboards. They will be everywhere, right? That is my approach. And the blog site that I use and that I refer my people to, $199 for the year, right? Does this work? Absolutely. Now, what I do tell them, and I'm going to tell you, right? When you join TaxRep and you go into the marketing module, we teach you how to blog, where to blog. We give you all the, I think, 72 topics. I mean, we spoon feed this to you, okay, to get started. The one thing I tell them, and I'm going to tell you, all right, and I equate it to like getting in shape. You don't get into shape going to the gym today and spending hours and hours at the gym. That's not how it works. Right? I go to the gym 30 minutes. That's about it. You don't get into amazing shape going once. You get into amazing shape 30 minutes a day, day after day after day after day. This approach to marketing works. 2 hours a week, that's it. Week after week after week. You have to keep up consistent effort. Now, do I miss a week here and there? Of course I do. Everyone does. You're on vacation, there's a wedding, whatever. But if you could consistently be putting out content, useful, good content, the search engines will love you, people will find you. And the other and I know it works because people, when they show up in our office, will come in with printouts of my blog entries. So I know they've read them because they printed them and kept them and brought them to the meeting with them. Okay? That is where clients are. Where are they? Everywhere. How do you get them? You have to get the message out that you do this work. And how do you do that? It is not rocket science. It is easy. It does not take a lot of money. Do those other approaches work? Absolutely. Absolutely. You just have to have a lot of money to spend on it. What I'm telling you is you don't need the money. You don't need to spend it. You can build a 6-figure practice easy peasy by following the roadmap. Okay? So, you want to get clients, come and join us in TaxRep, but the point being is get the message out that you do this. And when that message gets out there, and it does take effort and it does take some time, when it happens, the phone will start to ring, and finding clients will definitely not be your problem. All right? Thanks for listening in. I will talk to you next week.